Hey guys, good morning. It is 9:01. I fucked up somehow. Okay, I understand. I flipped the accidentally I was getting some dust off the screen. Um okay. So there's something really important that's happening right now, and I wanted to kind of bring an attention or an awareness to it. So, um what do I how do I say this? Um okay. Yesterday, I got a feeling that there was going to be something important. And I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to meet the person. Who knows? Um, I hung out with my friend and their like friend group. And it was very nice. I enjoyed it. Um, hmm. There's something where it's like I felt the the complete alienation. Not from them. They were being very accommodating, but it was like I could see myself sitting there and my friend who care about them, obviously I came out to hang out with them. But they, along with that whole friend group, it was like I just didn't resonate deeply because they all okay. How do I say this? It's like they're very attached to the material world. And that's not a bad thing, just to be clear. And I don't think it's a bad thing to be attached to the material world. What I've noticed is there was one guy there that was like very animated. He was funny. Um, and he had like a bunch of he had like idiosyncrasy quirk stuff that he played into, and it was like, that was part of his like thing that he did. And um it was like I peered behind the veil when watching the group interactions, and it was like there was a lot of things left unsaid that I could feel in terms of I don't know. It's like I don't know how to describe this wrongness. There was like a wrongness that I was feeling. And it's not about them specifically. It's more about this situation where it's like I felt this sense of it was like I was being shown a life path that I could have gone, of like having a friend group and going out and like drinking a little bit and like having fun, like eating food at, the local bar, and doing the what's it called, the trivia, and being like, well, we're not the best, but we're the loudest. And it was like, they were proud of just enjoying the company with each other, which is great, right? But it's almost like, okay, it's almost like the feeling of giving up on dreams. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's like if I had given up on myself and chosen that life, which again wouldn't have been a wrong choice, but it wouldn't have, there's like an underlying like unsatisfying note of like it's like you're driving down a freeway and there's a pit stop, a little rest stop, you're going to use the restroom, and it's like this group decided to just stay at the pit stop and hang out because they didn't want to drive anymore and they were satisfied with where they are. But under that satisfying like feeling of, hey, we don't have to drive, we're walking around, there's like a few places here, so it's like, we could probably set up, like, we could get a house, we could make a life, and like, cool, this is just where we're at. And I think that's a totally fine life to have. The thing that keeps coming back to me, though, is this idea that that isn't truly what their kind of hearts actually want. It's what they've chosen because they've decided to put down the dreams or the aspirations that they may have had. And to be clear, I don't know these people very well, so I'm reading a lot into this energy. But it's kind of, it just reminds me of this idea of like, we've decided that this is okay, this is enough. And they've all gathered together. They're all in a similar kind of state of like, yeah, we enjoy each other's company. Nothing wrong with that again. We enjoy like coming here and doing the trivia and just hanging out and talking and, whatever, right? And also like, oh, we got the new games that we were playing, and, we were playing this game or that game, and, some people are talking about some like stuff they're really passionate about, whatever. And I will say one of the people that was there definitely had more of a spark that I could tell. Like there something about the way they exist is definitely energetically they just have like there's like a passion that they still they allow themselves to feel really deeply. Whereas some of the other people there, it's not that they don't feel so deeply. I just didn't get the sense that I got the sense that they're content with not feeling as deeply about things. And it's like they feel enough, they're happy, and they enjoy their life. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying... I'm pointing this out because it's like, this may sound like a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. What I'm pointing out is this is a life I could have definitely had in the past. Being perfectly content with what's going on. I could have, X job, doing whatever, showing up to trivia nights, hanging out with a group of friends, talking about like, oh yeah, someday I was going to do this, or, work was rough this week, or whatever it is, right? I can't be that anymore. It's like, that's why I felt so alienated. And again, it's not them. They were not alienating. They were very kind, and they were very welcoming. I felt like, it's like, on the one hand, it's like I totally felt like they were like, hey, we can hang out, be a part of the group. And it was very nice of them to like allow me to just kind of be there. What I could feel internally is this rejection of this type of life. I reject living that kind of life. Why? Because I know that is not aligned for my path. I'm not going to do the 9 to 5. I'm not going to hang out with friends that don't have the drive to keep growing, or that are like aren't necessarily spiritually in tuned or whatever. There's like there's a very high standard internally that I now realize I have for like social interactions. And I could tell, because I brought up the spiritual journey stuff real quick with one of the people, and And they seemed to listen, but it was very much like the magnitude. Like I couldn't even scrape the surface of the magnitude of this journey. And it's like you know how I talked to this hair. I don't know. I don't know why it's just sticking out like that. There we go. Um, it was just like I was like I'm like connected to this. Anyway, whatever. It was just bothering me. But the fuck, I lost my train of thought because I got distracted by the fucking hair. Um, yeah, the magnitude. It's like when I was talking about um the depth of a person and how one type of depth, like being a pond or lake or whatever, the depth, it's totally okay to be there. And, just as I wouldn't want to be a pond because I know I'm not a pond, people who are ponds don't want to be oceans, right? Or abysses or whatever. They want to be where they're at. And very few people strive to continue to grow actively. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's important to just be very clear on. Using the analogy of driving down the road on a freeway, right? If you stop at a rest stop and decide that the rest stop is really beautiful and want to stay there, that's okay. You don't have to keep driving down the road. And some people really, like, the life that they've kind of laid out, like, that's what they want to do. And so it's like, great. They grew a little bit, got to a rest stop, and then they're content with that. And that's okay. And in fact, that's probably the best thing for them. And then there are very few people who choose a path that is much more challenging because that's what they want. They want the challenge. And there's lots of tests, lots of roadblocks, lots of learning challenges, and that's what they want. And for them, stopping at the road stop, they're going to use the bathroom and they're going to get back on the freeway. And they'll see the group of people that decided to stay at the rest stop. And they'll be like, hey, and they'll interact and it'll be great. But they're like, yep, this rest stop is not for me. And that's how I feel. Nothing wrong with the people at the rest stop. They're all very nice. They're all very kind. They have, honestly, they have pretty cool lives. Just listening to, everything that they do throughout their life, throughout their, week. It's yeah, that's a pretty comfortable life. And sure, there are struggles, but again, we're going to go through different struggles throughout our life. And for me, it's yep, that's not for me. And that's it. And it's like, that's distinctly what I felt. And then I woke up this morning, and at first, I was like, oh my gosh, nothing showed up in the 3D for me. Which is not true, actually. What I just described is what showed up. It's checking to see, is this what you wanted? Is this the type of life you want? Because you can still do it if you want to. And I'm like, no, I don't want that check. I don't want that stop. I'm not interested. But earlier, before I started recording this, there was a moment, and it keeps getting, okay. I realize I should probably explain something. So, I've been feeling this yo-yo effect of moments feeling really clear on I'm just trusting the path and I'm just letting things go. And then moments when I'm worried about, oh my gosh, I don't have a job, I don't have this, I don't have that. Another day shows up and I don't see anything on the physical 3D. Like, should I be trusting? Maybe everything's just a lie and I'm delusional and all of this stuff. And I can feel it. And when I feel the yo-yo of going back to re-feel those like past worries that I no longer resonate with, in the moment it feels like, oh, but you do resonate with it. And it's like, no, I don't actually. I know very strongly and deeply internally that everything will work out for me, and trusting is all I gotta do. I've done all the hard work. Again, it's you're like 50 feet from the finish line. You're gonna just stop and say, well, it's time to go home, I guess. Like, no, you're not gonna do that. It's really easy to want to do that because you're tired and you can't actually see the finish line, even though you know you're very close. So, yeah. And again, this is where the yo-yo, it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And eventually it's going to come to a rest in the middle where it's like, and I'm getting very close to it. And I can feel it because every time this stuff shows up, I'm stronger at like saying, no, that is wrong. That is not correct. That is bullshit. When I'm like, oh, you're delusional. No, fuck you. I am not delusional. I understand and I feel what I feel. And I don't have to have the 3D reality reflect something for me to know that I am walking the correct path. I don't have to. And that's what I've been being taught is, can you keep walking when can you keep walking when nothing in the 3D shows up? When you think maybe something's going to happen, and then the thing that you thought was going to happen doesn't happen, but something else happens. Can you still keep walking? My answer is yes. Yes, I can. And I'm not going to let the fear in. Those feelings of worry about career, job, all of this stuff. How am I going to make money? How am I going to do whatever? I've already let those things go. Those things are already let go. And just the echoes are what remain. And the echoes are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and more distant. Because I am strongly saying, no, that is not the reality. And as I keep affirming what I know, I rebound really quick. And I feel like maybe the next time, I say maybe, I feel like the next time I'm not even going to have a yo-yo. There's going to be no rebound because the feelings I'm going to swat like a fly, and that's going to be it. And because it's like, you know, what time is it? It's 9:27. I had the feelings at like 6:50, and I worked through them in like an hour and a half. Like 7:50, 8:50. Yeah, like I started this video at like 9. So really, it's been like 2.5 hours. And even before that, I was already working through those and like questioning, like, okay, like, what is the reasoning for XYZ, whatever. And I had already been like working through it even before I started doing the video. But then like doing this video, it's like, yeah, like, it's just remnants. It's just echoes. It's not even the real thing. It's like an echo of an echo. And the thing itself isn't even real. Like, fear isn't even a real thing. It's just something that we make up in order to try and slow us down from doing what we're supposed to be doing. So it's like, fear is literally the illusion. And so, yeah, it's like, oh, right. So I was going to say, something that I've been kind of questioning in my head, and I think this is something really important that I need to like address. There's almost been this feeling of like the divine partner coming in is like saving me in somehow. It's like the person that was very depressed, the me 10 years ago, that felt like they were drowning in depression, begged and wished every day for someone to just come in and save them. And it was like there was there was kind of like 3 main things. It was someone save them, someone to like take away all of the like pain and suffering and to just go somewhere else, to effectively run away, and to do some sort of fantasy thing. And I questioned if this divine partner concept, if it's another version of this idea of getting saved, where it's like, oh, I need the divine partner to show up so that then I can do whatever and blah blah blah, all this stuff. I can already do whatever. And so the reason that I want the divine partner to begin with is because I do want to experience being with someone who both understands and is willing to grow in the same way that I am, walking this path and just seeing what happens. That's something that that I feel would be awesome to experience. Now, I think it's important to reaffirm for myself that I do not need this partner to save me. That's not what it's about. It's more like I'm walking and the person, quote unquote, the thing that is going to be providing for me is source, God, whatever you want to call, the creator, the one. That's who's providing. And it could show up as the partner. That could be the way that the things play out. It could also be something totally different. It could be that one video pops off and someone's like, oh my gosh, this is such a really good video, and it gets shared and whatever. That could be another way. It could also be something completely different. Like, again, I don't need to speculate because I know it's whatever is needed will show up for me. And right now, I actually don't need anything. What I'm doing right now, I'm walking down the path and I have everything I need. And I don't need to worry about the future. Because right now, the things that I am working on, I'm doing these videos and, just like experiencing the traveling and then visiting, the uncle and like all of this stuff. It's like, this is where my path is going so far. And I'm keeping my eyes open for potential possibilities of, like, if someone offers something, like an event or whatever, like, I'm gonna sit with my intuition, figure out if it's right for me, and keep going. Like, for an example, I'm feeling like the thing that the my friend and their friend group is doing on, I think, Saturday. I don't think I'm supposed to go. It's like, yeah, if I'm supposed to go, my team will, like, my spirit team will tell me. It'll be abundantly clear that I'm supposed to go, but my gut is telling me, or my intuition is telling me that I don't think I'm gonna fit there, because there's, realistically, there's gonna be a lot of, like, drinking, and it's gonna be pretty late, so I'm not sure if that atmosphere works. But again, I'll be open. If I'm supposed to be there, I'll be there. If I'm not supposed to be there, I won't be there. And yeah. But my point is that the things that I am meant to do, I will do. And I don't have to worry about how it's going to show up. And I have been worrying about how things are going to show up. I don't need to do that. It's the idea of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. 1 foot in the door, and then the other foot is outside. I just need to take that other foot out, and bring both feet inside. So, I'm not going to worry about divine partner stuff. I'm not going to worry about, different opportunities or whatever. Again, it's like more trust. Putting more into just having faith. So I'm just not worrying about it. And the fears, this next time around when they show up, they're not even going to affect me. I'm going to recognize that they are the last remnants. And I'm just going to be like, oh, hey, I see you. Don't worry about it. Thank you for leaving, effectively, So, yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. I think I'm going to go get food. The last place that I got food at, the giant pile of meat that was, like, ridiculous. That seems like a really good play. It's like 2 meals in one, in the evening. Get potatoes, veggies, all of that fun jazz. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna do the salad, that salad place that's really good. I want to walk up there again, so I need to take a shower. Not sure if I'm going to film me talking or not. I kind of want to listen to the new book that I've been listening to. It's really good. Um, it's called, I think it's called Mage Tank or something, but it's like definitely a book that I had been putting it on hold for a while. Of like, it's only a couple books, and maybe I shouldn't read it. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna start reading the books that I've been saving because they're quote unquote not too long. I'm just gonna read the things that I enjoy. And so yeah. So I started reading it. It's good. Of course, I knew it was gonna be good. That's why I was saving it. So and yeah, fuck it. I also I still haven't, like, I've been very just vibe, but today is Thursday, and I'm pretty sure today's the last day that I will have videos uploaded. So I think I really do need to do my video uploading stuff today to catch up. I've been just putting it off. So I think I'm going to do that. Also on a side thing, I did 16,000 steps yesterday, almost 17,000 steps. So that's pretty good. And then the day before, I mean, I can actually look, I think. Yeah, I don't know. The app tracks like steps, so I guess I can look at it later, but I've been doing pretty good. I'm still taking rest when I need to, but trying to gauge that like middle ground of like not doing absolutely nothing, but also at the same time not doing so much that I would need to like rest the next day. I get the feeling that consistent walking is going to be helpful. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what yesterday looks like for you guys. Also, I'm not sure if the like volume, I think it's on the bottom maybe. So I hope I haven't been like fucking up the volume too much in my videos. We'll see. There might be some muffled parts, but yeah, I want to finish putting everything on the channel, and yeah, maybe make some other content. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I really liked the butterfly exhibit yesterday. That was great. Apparently the zoo has a butterfly exhibit as well. So I'll definitely want to go to the zoo. So that'll be cool. Maybe I'll ask my friend if my friend wants to go to the zoo with me. If they don't, that's totally fine. There's also the botanical garden, which looks really nice. I definitely want to go there as well. So there's at least 2 places I want to go. I only got 4 days left before the 5th day I'll be flying out on Monday. So, and if I'm going to be spending today doing, whatever, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Oh, right. I was gonna say, I'm not too sure on how yesterday's video looks because I know I did like some recording of some walking around, and then I did the like a little bit of the I did 2 minutes of recording for the like butterfly thing, which no clue if you're gonna see any of the butterflies. I tried really hard to capture some of them on the phone, but who the fuck knows if you're gonna see them. Um, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. I need to get a shower at some point, and then oh, side thing. I've been just taking showers every day, and I'm very glad that I am. Like, I was just so worried for a while about like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fuck up my hair by doing a shower every day. It's like, actually, my hair is totally fine with a shower every day. Um, so I don't know. Like, we'll see. Even though my hair looks fucked right now, but that's just because, I woke up and haven't gotten a chance to comb it or do anything, but, my hair's fine. Anyway, what else? What else? Is there anything else I want to talk about? Nope, I think that's it. So, all right, I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, it's like 4:37 in the morning. I didn't do I totally fell asleep at like 7:30 or 8 or something, and then I forgot to do the recap video at the end of the day. So I'm gonna do the recap stuff tomorrow in the morning. Or I say later in the day, but I'm making the video because I woke up and I don't know. I kind of had a moment where I was like, the surrendering I'm doing for the universe and to make all of this happen is like so much bigger than I even realized. Like, I understood, but like kind of just hit me of the idea that effectively I'm letting go of previous friendships and roommates, and like, it's not that I'm not going to be friends with anyone or not going to talk to them, but it's like there's really a sense that the dynamic is totally changing because I'm going to be in a different position or a different state. And there's this like understanding that I have now where it's like, yeah, I'm literally letting go of everything. Like, my entire life, effectively. Basically, I'm moving out and I don't have anywhere I'm moving to at the moment. And there's the moving out, and then there's leaving behind, people that I care about, but they just don't like resonate with me anymore. And then effectively, aside from this channel, like I don't do any work at the moment. And I was just thinking about like how effectively the all in that the universe is asking me to do, or asking if I'm ready to do, is so big that it's like, yeah, I'm effectively intentionally becoming homeless and intentionally leaving everyone behind to walk into the unknown with no plan and no real understanding of what's gonna happen. And it's like I'll do it, obviously. I'm not gonna I can't like stop halfway. And it's like, fuck that, I'm not stopping halfway. I thought about how it's like, I don't know, this idea keeps coming up, like, if I die, I die. Like, that's the level of like letting go, where it's like, obviously I don't want to die, right? um and I'm not like suicidal or anything like that, just to be clear, because that came up a few days ago. um but it's the total surrender of everything, like my entire life. I'm surrendering everything. And it's scary, of course. And the universe is like, just trust. Do the trust fall. This is the trust fall. This is the last step. Now, obviously, I say the last step, but like, I still have another leg of the trip, and then I have to come back. I don't even know. Like, I haven't booked a return ticket yet, and I'm like, why? And the universe is like, no, you're not doing that yet. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah. Um, just sitting with that. And it's like, I don't know what, I'm trying to, there's an image in my like head of like internally how I'm feeling. And it's like, I don't know if it's a meme or if it's a GIF or something, but there's like, it's like an anime like thing of like this anime character. She's like crying and it's raining and she's like, uh I don't know, it's like a very emotional scene. I feel like I've seen it like a bunch. I just can't remember like where it's from or what it was in reference to, but like I know that people made memes of it or something. Um, but I don't know. That's just how that's internally. That's like kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. But it's like it's not like a sad crying. It's like a release crying. It's like um it's like each tear is like a, I don't know, like some sort of, um God, I hope I didn't wake up the people above me. They're up really early. It's 4:46. Um but yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm just, it's like I'm crying to let go of the old life because I know, oh hey, they had to go to the bathroom. I got it. Because the old life, like I'm not happy in the old life. I'm not. So it's okay to let it go. I'm I just feel so out of place in the old life. And it's like, well, what does the new life look like? I don't fucking know. Um, and then I'm thinking about like, am I just waiting for someone to show up? Is this another form of me just like hoping someone's gonna save me? And it's like, I don't know, I don't think so. But like, it just almost feels like that. But this time it's the universe bringing people. It's like, I don't know, I just, it feels uncomfortable. Because it's like, okay, I'm trusting the universe. But it's literally feeling so similar to the times when I would be incredibly depressed and I'd lay in bed and I'd be crying and I just want some help, and help never came. I don't know. It's like, Jesus, my stomach is fucking loud. Um, I don't know. It's kind of like, feels like the universe is like, this time's gonna be different. And I'm like, I don't trust you. And the universe is like, yeah, but you gotta trust. And everything inside is like trying to rebel and say you can't trust it because it's never, when you've asked in the past, it's never happened. So how do you know it's going to happen this time? And then there's all sorts of scenarios playing out of like just wandering around homeless in a fucking car. All my shit in the back seat. Sleeping in the car. And it's like, I don't want that. And it's just kind of like um, every time that I hope for a specific thing or think that something's going to happen, and then it just, it doesn't turn out the way that I envision or whatever. And it's like, yeah, obviously, because the universe is kind of doing it differently. But it's like, there's the question of like, how can I trust you when I don't know anything? How can I trust? And the response is always, well, that's part of it. You just gotta trust it. You gotta trust that I know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, yeah. Like, if I'm gonna trust anyone, the universe is definitely the thing to trust. Or in this case, source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it. But just calling it the universe because it's just, you know. But anyway, so it's kind of like, it's like reviewing what I've been told. Is like, okay, so what you're telling me is let go of everything, in my life, be homeless, have no job aside from the YouTube stuff, which, it's not making money right now. And, who knows if it's ever going to make money, right? And honestly, I've talked about it before. It's like, I'm not doing the YouTube stuff to make money. I'm doing it because I feel like it's so important to document all of this. So what you're telling me, universe, source, is to basically put a blindfold on, let go of everything in my life, and then start walking randomly into the desert. Because you're saying that there is, in fact, an oasis in that desert. And that in order to do that, I just need to walk a little bit over this, dune. And I'm doing it blindfolded, so I can't even see if there's an oasis. I could be 2 inches from the oasis, I don't know. And so that is the extent of what I'm being asked to do. And the universe is like, yep, that's exactly what I'm telling you to do. I'm like, holy fuck, that is insane. Yep, I know. But that's why you're documenting everything. Because no one's going to believe you when all of this stuff plays out. They're going to see all of the doubt, all of the struggle with letting go, and then they're going to see the outcome. I'm like, fuck, that's heavy. It's like, yeah, no shit. But, you've been strong enough to get this far. And it's like, I know you're strong enough to do this last bit. Even though might be the hardest thing to do. Which is crazy, because I've gone through a lot of hard stuff. It's both the hardest and the easiest. It's the hardest because it's a total surrender. And it's the easiest because I don't have to do anything. I just kind of let things play out. And I just don't fight back on, I don't sign the lease. I don't, I just pack everything that I kind of set up, and that's it. And obviously I go through this next 3 days here, and then I got a week with my uncle, and then that's it. Then I'm back. Effectively, there's a month. A month is today's the 1st, right? I think it's May 1st or something, but yeah, it is May 1st. So it's like, I don't know. It's just it's tough. It's just fucking tough. And yeah. Uh, on a total side note, because I was thinking about this, about it being May 1st, my roommates literally like, they can't just, I don't understand this logic of call me twice when you're bored and then don't do any texts or follow up or anything, and then get one of the roommates who deals with like checking in on like rent and stuff to like randomly ping me in the Discord to be like, hey, so are you gonna pay rent? And I'm like, I've been paying rent for 18 months the same way. It's auto pay from my bank account. It hasn't changed. So why couldn't you have just said, hey, we wanted to check in on you and see what's up, but we couldn't do a text. Effectively, it's kind of frustrating, and it totally is like, this is a perfect example of a reason why I'm like, yeah, I'm just not, I don't gel with them anymore. It's like, I can feel that there's some care there, but it's like under this like guise of like, effectively, they just want to know what I'm doing. And they can't just ask because they know that that's like, they're being like weird about it. And because they've never asked in the past what I'm doing whenever I go on my little adventures or trips or whatever. So it's like, you know, like for an example, when they go on trips every like month or two, they never update me on anything. And I'm like, that's fine. They're just living their life. You know, like, I don't need to know what they're doing. And so it's like, I think there's like a realization that's like, oh shit, we're asking him something that we never do. So we can't ask him that way. Because, whoops, that's awkward. And it's like, yeah, like, so you have to do it in this roundabout fucking dumb way of like, well, we don't know if he's gonna pay rent, so we gotta check in and see if he's gonna pay rent. It's like, no. What happened And I know this is what happened. The one roommate who is kind of the string puller asked the other roommate, "Hey, can you find out what I'm doing through the rent stuff?" Because they fucking know that I pay rent the same way every month. We've literally had this conversation like at least 2 times already. And so they know that it auto pays on the 1st. And it just doesn't show up until the 1st. That's just how it's always been. And there's not been a single fucking problem. And so it's like, it's annoying me that it's like I can so see what's going on here. I see the string being pulled because at the end of the day, that roommate that's pulling the strings is annoyed that I haven't answered his calls. And it's like, he doesn't have the balls to text me and say, "Hey, I'm nosy, I want to know what the fuck you're doing." So instead, he's going to go and pull the strings of someone else to get them to do it, so then it doesn't look like he's being nosy about what I'm doing. Because he doesn't like the fact that I'm going off on my own and doing my own thing. And it's like, yeah, you're nosy. Like, I don't ask you what you're doing when you're on your trips. And so it's kind of like so instead it's like, okay, we'll basically try and bait him into responding on the Discord, and then I'll just randomly say, "Oh, wow, never heard of you before, I'm so glad you're alive, what are you doing, how's the trip?" And it's like, this is what I'm getting away from, is this dynamic. Like, it got me annoyed just thinking about the dynamic. And you know, I'm bringing it up because it's like, this is an example of something I don't put up with anymore. Because I see through the bullshit. And I understand that a lot of people, there's an intentional level of deception on this to make it seem like if I was to ever call it out, I would be considered the crazy one for pointing out what's actually happening. And it's that level of manipulation that I'm like, fuck you. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not putting up with that shit. I'm not putting up with the, like, the random fucking, like, negative jabs. You know? And so, of course, like, that's why when I came back from my New York trip, suddenly everyone was totally different and they treated me way, way more like, it was like, okay, gotta be on our best behavior, guys, because we want him to stay. So we gotta show him that it's gonna be good to stay. And it's like, guys, I know what you're doing. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, and then the whole, I didn't talk about this, but like, it kind of bothered me that one of the first things that came up when I was like talking about the whole moving stuff, and they were like, "Oh, you're serious about this?" It's like, "Okay, well, can I buy your car?" I'm like, "No." Like, first of all, what you're offering me is way below market value. Secondly, like, I'm not just going to give you my car. And then it's like, well, what about all the infrastructure? And it's like, yeah, obviously, like, a lot of this stuff I'm not going to be able to bring with me. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of it. And so it's kind of like, it wasn't like, okay, what are you going to do? Like, do you have, like, plans? Have you figured stuff out? It's, what about your stuff first that we use? And then afterwards it was, oh, well, maybe you can just sign the lease and then just, sublet it to your friend. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, you're fucking crazy if you think I'm gonna sign the lease like that. Because at the end of the day, it would be on me, not on my friend, if something was to happen or whatever. So it's like, that's not gonna happen, and I don't think my friend would be okay with that either. Um, and then they're like, well, you can just leave all your stuff here, and then you can come back. You'll have a home. We'll just go out and do things. And it's like, I don't think you understand like what's actually happening here. Um, it's all kind of like it's like there's a level of care there, but it's not too much care, if that makes sense. It's like, we care about you, but also we don't want you to do too well because, like, we want you to hang out with us. We don't want you to be like off gallivanting doing your own thing. Because again, it's like, it's that level of like, well, if I went and like did something and all of my talk about, how their negativity and all of that stuff is holding them back, well, wouldn't I be proving that by doing something that kind of goes against everything that they believe in? They don't believe in unconditional love. They don't believe in, the world being positive in any way. And so it's like, yeah, seeing me do the thing would be like totally shattering their worldview. So they don't want that to happen. And I talk about it as if they're these like, inevitably, when I talk about this kind of stuff, and it honestly kind of pisses me off. I'm just gonna say it. I just get so sick of like my words getting fucking twisted around and like misunderstood. I'm just gonna say it because it's like, I talk about this situation and I still love and care about them, it's okay to point out something you dislike. And when people kind of hear this kind of talk, you know, they immediately go the fucking black and white of like, oh, well, you must hate your roommates. No, I don't. I love my roommates. It's just, it's just annoying that, like, and again, this is another thing that I'm just letting go, is it's like, I'm tired of having to explain everything 10,000 different ways. I'm tired of sitting here trying to, like, explain the reasoning, knowing that no one's gonna fucking get it, even if I explain it for 10 years. Because you're not you specifically, but like, no one has experienced what I've experienced, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. But it's like, even explaining the like not wanting to explain is fucking tiring. And I don't know, I want to have conversations where I don't have to like build up a fucking scaffolding in order to like have someone climb up the scaffolding to reach the level that I'm like referring to, only for the scaffolding to come halfway up and then to fall down before we even get to what I was trying to talk about. That's kind of something that's been happening for a lot of my life, is like, I'll show you the logic. And if you follow it, fine. If you don't, whatever, you know. Um, the logic is, okay, I understand step 45. And other people may be on step 20 or 15 or 10 or whatever, okay? And so they don't see the 20 plus steps in between. So if I say, well, the next step you're supposed to do is this step, and the reason is for this, this, and this, and then when you get to step 45 or 50 or whatever it is, you know, because what I'm trying to explain is, well, how do I get from 45 to 46? And it's like, okay, so I'm stuck here. Anyone on step 45 or 40 to 46? No. The closest person around me is on step 20. Great, okay. So I'm going to explain to you 25 steps to get to where I'm at. You're not going to believe me. And then afterwards, then I'm going to try to, through that lens, have you understand 45 to 46 to maybe help me in some way. And the person obviously is going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't understand anything you're saying. Because they're still on step 20. And so for me, and using this analogy, for me, I want to talk to people who are also on step 45. I'm like so sick of not talking to people on step 45. And it's like, it sucks. It just sucks because it's like, you know, a perfect example is meeting those friends of my friend um, on Wednesday for trivia night. I talking with them, it was like, again, it was like seeing people on step 20. And so me saying I'm on a different step than you, not even saying I'm on step 45, just saying, yeah, I'm on a different step than you. I'm doing this spiritual journey thing. It's been wild. And I've been doing this and, talking about like, you know, doing the traveling and stuff. And I'm just like, and I'm just letting my intuition do my thing. It's like, I could clearly see that, like, the person's like, oh, wow, that's a thing you're doing. That's crazy. And then kind of like glossing over it and then kind of doing the other stuff. And it's like, it was really hard to not over explain because it was like, yeah, I know that you have no fucking clue what's actually going on. And so it's like immediately there's this chasm that I can feel the moment I say something like that. And it's like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And then goes back to the thing of like whatever conversations are going on. It's like, yeah, this is why I struggle so hard when connecting with people on a deep level because it's like I don't want the fucking small talk casual stuff. I actively avoid the small talk. Like I don't like it. And obviously I say that I avoid it, but it's like obviously there's a level of like you meet someone new for the first time and you don't just start talking about the fucking void universe stuff, right? Um so I'm not saying that I do that. It's more like if something shows up, or I'll like kind of test the waters with someone, like Uber drivers as an example. I'll say, hey, how's it going? We'll start communicating. I appreciate you guys for picking me up, and then you know see if they want a conversation. And if they want a conversation, figure out, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? And if something gets brought up and I have some insight on it, I'll talk about it. And I'll just say my insight. I won't really care about decorum or whatever on like, oh, well, we can't talk about deep things, whatever. But also, like, there was this one guy who had taken me to the butterfly exhibit, and he just didn't want to talk. Like, I could tell he just didn't want to talk. He literally, I talked to him, tried to start up a conversation. He was like very kind of curt, and then afterwards it was like he literally just turns on the radio and the music and turns it up really loud, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's an easy, understandable thing of you do not want to talk to me, and that's fine. I don't expect everyone to want to talk to me. And then there's other people like the guy who was talking about the gym stuff, and I gave some insight on the gym stuff, and then that was it. Yeah, but anyway, my point is that all the over explaining, all of the like explaining, like, well, you're on a different step than I'm at. I understand you're probably not going to understand what I'm saying. It's like me totally seeing a person, the other person not understanding that I see them, and also not seeing me, but thinking they can, like, see me. Because there's some snap judgments there. And it's like, this all comes back to the idea of, like, being seen, just at a base level. Being seen, being felt, being heard. It's like, yeah, it just doesn't exist for me. And I do want those connections that can see me. And so I'm just tired of not being seen. Even this friend that I'm currently hanging out with, I can tell they don't see me at a deeper level. It's like, I think we used to be at a similar kind of point, and I understand now. It's like, I see them very well, where I see that they are, they're like a reflection of the past me before all of this. That's why we resonated so well back then, is because we were on a similar step. And they are pretty deep in the steps. Like, they've gone through and, like, figured out a lot. But they kind of just stopped. And when you stop like that, it kind of, it's okay to stop, but it's kind of like we were both on step like 30 or 35, and then I took a bunch of quick steps back to back to back, because I'm very good at just, like, growing and like alchemizing things and like working through them. Like that's I've gotten really good at that. And yeah, it's like I don't know if they're going to keep walking or if they've decided that this is a great pit stop. I don't know yet. Because they're making decisions that I can see is going to get them into trouble again. It's like they're doing the same decision over again. Um I don't, I kind of poked a little bit just to see like, okay, well, how receptive are you? And it's not very receptive right now. And I'm like, okay, I I shouldn't bring it up or talk about it. And that's okay. Like, you know, I I don't need to, you know, I don't need to poke or do any of that stuff. And it's almost like it's an acceptance of that people are at where they're at. It's not my job to springboard them forward or try and drag them. That's not my job. I can plant seeds uh, on the path that will sprout, and that's it. You know, just me existing the way I am is enough to help people. I don't have to like do anything crazy. Um, because I'll just say the step that this friend is on, they're they're still stuck in the overgiving phase. They think they're putting strong boundaries up, but they're not. And it's like they don't like the situation they're in, but also they're like, yeah, but I'm okay with doing it this way because it's only a couple months, or it's only this, or it's only that. And I'm like, I've been there. Like, I understand. You can't do the it's only a couple months thing. If you don't like doing something, even if it's for a good cause, a good reason, there's going to be resentment that you're going to feel because it's like you're over giving and you're not giving into yourself. And so when you do that, um, you end up in a scenario where you drain yourself and then you get resentful and frustrated and you're like, why isn't this working? Like, why are these people doing things this way? And it's like, it's very frustrating. It's like, it's because you don't have boundaries. You're giving away way more than you should. You should be giving to yourself first. When you have strong boundaries and you say, no, I will not let X person do X thing, because that is, there's a hard line that you set where you need a certain amount of peace, a certain amount of space, a certain amount of whatever, right? I mean, I'll just say it. The fact that they're effectively being forced. I say forced, they're allowing it to happen, but they're moving out of their own place because they are going to be going back and living with their parents, all because they are letting two people stay in their own space, their own apartment, that shouldn't be there. And it's kind of like, yeah, I have really good boundaries. Yeah, but you're literally letting two people take away your entire place that you live in. Like, does that not scream no boundaries? How do you not understand that? And it's like, well, it's only temporary. It's only for this, that, the other. You know, I'll set boundaries in the future. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to set boundaries now. Like, it's crazy that you're even letting this happen. And so this is my point. Coming back to this is like, I was there at one point. They're struggling with their step, and I can just tell them, hey, you got to put boundaries up. No, I do boundaries. It's like, I understand. You do not see what the next step is. And you may be stuck on this step for a while. Who knows? You could figure it out eventually. I hope you do. Or you could figure it out sooner, whatever, right? But when it's like very disheartening of like finally seeing someone who's like similar to a step, and then kind of walking past them and being like, are you coming? And they're like, no, I'm still working on this step. And I'm like, okay. And so this is what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for people who keep walking and are in a similar kind of bracket, if that makes sense. A similar kind of trajectory. And sorry, I'm just trying to be comfortable. My hand was starting to be cold. Um so yeah, I guess what I'm saying is it's lonely to walk alone. And the universe is like, don't worry. Once you let go of the people who are behind you on their path, and when you let go of the place that doesn't really resonate with you anymore, then the new kind of space that does fit with you and the group of people that do resonate with you and the the partner that does fit and will continue walking with you, those are all coming. But you have to let go of everything else and trust. I mean, and it's not even hard to let go. The hard part is the trusting that the other things are real and not a mirage. Because obviously I haven't been happy with my current kind of situation since February. Since I started this I don't think in the very beginning of February I really fully understood how unhappy I was with not being understood, with all the subtle jabs and stuff like that. When I say subtle jabs, it's they weren't intentional. And I think that's where there's an intentionality that people ascribe, and it's no, there wasn't really an intention there. It's more you well, I don't know. There are some things I question with the intentions. I think maybe part of it is not wanting to see some aspects there, or knowing internally but not acknowledging. Like the one roommate who was super insecure with themselves and kind of compared me to them, and then kind of saw that I was just, I don't know, that they almost thought I almost feel like they thought I was trying to take their position in the friend group. And it's no, dude, that's not what I was doing at all. You're totally safe being in your friend group. But it's an insecurity with themselves. And so it's as soon as I started acknowledging that, I'm okay, I understand where this is all coming from. Because I didn't understand. I was why are they being such an asshole to me sometimes? Like what the fuck? There was this weird dynamic for a little bit, and funny enough, as soon as I figured it out, and I think I made a video or two about it, totally possible that they heard me or whatever, and that's fine. But it's suddenly they stopped doing all those weird things. And it's yeah. And then suddenly the whole let's all be on our best behavior thing started happening. And it's not even about your behavior, dude. That's a symptom of a deep rooted issue. And it's just about where you're at in life. You guys have given up on the world being good. And that's okay. If you want to live that way, you can live that way. It's comfortable to blame the world for the problems that exist in your life. and you can have like a decent life where you're like, I can't believe that Trump did this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that this happened. Oh my gosh, like, work is so, damn, I can't believe that they made this decision. They're so crazy. And it's like, you know, yeah, like it's okay if you want to live that way. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, I just don't want to live that way. And so because I don't want to live that way, I don't think it's fair for me to impose my own perspective onto the group, because the group is not interested in living in a world that is good or happy. There's like a comfort in knowing, well, the world is shit, so we're going to live the best way we can within a shitty world. And it's like, I don't believe the world is shit. So those two just clash. And it's like, I used to be okay with the world is shit, whatever. And now I'm not, right? Oh my gosh. I just saw 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds on my timer. But yeah, so that's like ultimately that is why the roommate stuff just won't work. Even if I wanted to go back, I just couldn't. Like, it would be unbearable for both me and for them. The old adage that Blizzard had: you think you want it, but you don't, or you think you know, but you don't know. It's like the idea that the players in World of Warcraft felt like they knew what they wanted in WoW, and Blizzard tried to implement a lot of those changes and a lot of this stuff, and it totally changed the game in some like not so great ways. And eventually, there was some other stuff that happened and they kind of went back to the drawing board, but like it really is a matter of like, as players of the game called life, we think we know what we want when it comes to a lot of this stuff, but we don't actually know what we actually want a lot of times. And in the roommate situation, it's like they want me to stay, but they don't actually want me to stay, because they wouldn't be happy with me staying, because there would be a dissonance there that they just don't fully understand how like grating that would be for them, because it'd be a constant reminder, a constant flashlight on their insecurities, on their way of viewing the world. And it's like, yeah, like when you view the world a certain way and someone else views it a different way, it rubs up and there's like friction there. So that's where it's like, you think you want me there, but you actually like don't understand that it's going to be better for you if I'm not there. Anyway, so I guess getting back to what I was talking about before with letting go. you saw how I just kind of like, part of all of this trip stuff was to kind of distance myself from the situation with the roommates. Not because I dislike the roommates, not because of any of that stuff, but because it makes it harder for me to do what I'm supposed to be doing if I'm in a situation where there's constant negativity and a constant rubbing up of like different values. And so it's been really helpful for me to be going around to different places, even though it's funny. It's like I'm not I'm not hanging out with them, but I'm instead hanging out with my random like online buddies that I've known for a while. And with each successive part of the trip, I've learned something important or valuable. But it's also kind of like, it's like, yeah, none of these people that I've been hanging out with, I don't think they even. I don't know. It's like, I think they were actually just in shock that I even did this. That I followed through and just it's happening. Um, because I think they were all used to the idea of like talking about like hanging out and seeing each other and whatever, but not actually doing it. So when it actually happened, it's like, like week one, um, I spent a lot of time by myself, and that's fine. Um, and the times I did hang out with my buddy, like obviously I enjoyed it, but it was like, yeah, like it's just, we're just on such different paths. And then it was the next trip, this past trip, or this past week in North Carolina, where I was like, okay, I get it. I'm supposed to be here, and I'm mainly going to be alone throughout this trip because that's what's going to help me to like keep my frequency up and to be able to recognize the stuff that doesn't fit. And then of course, like, it's like, wow, you know, the buddy literally getting into a car accident, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's not like divine timing. I don't know what is, because it's like totally stopped us from doing like a whole day trip and like hang out with a different buddy, which again, I would have enjoyed hanging out with, but it just wasn't meant to be. And and then of course, like, I messaged the buddy and I was like, hey dude, do you want to hang out in the second part of May or at any point during May? And they're like, no, May's really busy. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So yeah. um but it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's, and then coming here and it's like, you know uh Let's see. I guess I've hung out with them twice. And then maybe it's going to be a third time on the weekend. So it's kind of like uh, okay. I think this is just my own personal thought on it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I get the vibe that they feel a little uncomfortable with my presence. Not in a weird way, but in a like I know what my presence does to people. It's like there's like a fucking flashlight or like a beacon that like cuts through and is just really like raw. And some people are just not, they're not able to handle that. They're not able to handle having a spotlight on like insecurities or whatnot, or like on getting things pointed out. And I'm not even saying I do it like intentionally. It's just stuff comes up and I'll just say something and it could like cut way deeper than I meant it to. Like with the the moving stuff where it's like, yeah, you clearly are not setting boundaries. And the moment I started poking at that and it was like, oh, whoops, I didn't like mean to like hit you really hard there. So I kind of backtracked a little bit, but it's like it's that stuff where it just comes up. And part of me is like, I'm not going to dim myself just because someone's uncomfortable. But also, that means that because someone's uncomfortable, it's like, yeah, it's no surprise that, um, I'm talking, like, I kind of, the first day when we hung out, I I tried talking about some stuff, but I could tell that it was like a little too overwhelming at the moment. Um, and then immediately after, it's like, oh, sorry, actually, my like I have this whole big thing happening, which it definitely like. I don't doubt that this family stuff is happening. It totally is. Um, it's just kind of like I think I'm not what a lot of people expect. And so it's like there's a level of authenticity that I'm like looking for with my interactions with friends and whatnot. And like, I'm not afraid to just talk about whatever, even if I know that it's gonna sound fucking weird to people. It's like, it's almost like a barometer of like, well, if I start talking about stuff and you go, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy, then most likely we're not going to have much to talk about because, I live in the realm of like doing my own thing and like this spiritual journey stuff. And it's like, I could talk about that for hours, but I'm not really interested in talking about fucking, uh, how the weather is. And yeah. So I think that there was like, oh, you really have changed a lot since we last chatted. And so there was like, okay, different approach. We'll hang out a couple times. Uh, but I'm also not gonna, you're not gonna be kind of up there on the priority list, which again is totally fine. Um, but it's kind of like, I'm glad that I've been able to be by myself and do a lot of this stuff. Um, but also, it's made me realize that, like, yeah, most of these friends, it's like they're not super interested in hanging out, and it's like, it's weird. It's like, I don't think they even realize what's happening on their end, because it's like, maybe on a subconscious level they get it, but on a conscious level, it's like, oh yeah, we're hanging out and you came out here and that's cool, and that's it, and okay, bye, and like, great to meet you, and then that's it. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, I can tell that there's like a level of disconnect. Also, what I thought was going to happen with me and like the friends, totally different. Like, the like, I made that prophecy video thing, which was, I was just kind of just seeing what would happen. And I don't know. It's kind of, I'm obviously going to leave it up just because I think it's a part of my journey. But yeah, it just, all of this, I've learned so much from like sitting with myself, not having anyone to really rely on, and kind of effectively having to go through like panic attacks or like moments of questioning in some cases. Like the first week I had a panic attack. The second week I had a panic attack. I felt the oncoming of a panic attack on this third week, but then I worked it through within that like same day. And it's like it's really feeling how like I am effectively losing everything. I say losing, I'm letting go of everything. Even the friend group on like World of Warcraft, the like everyone that I basically know, it's like, yeah, I'm still going to be friends with them, but there's going to be another layer of distance. And I can already feel it where there's a disconnect, because it's like there's a lack of understanding of like what I'm doing. And I've tried the whole explaining thing, that never works. So I'm not explaining it, I'm just doing it. And that's it. Really, I'll just say I feel way closer to you guys. And I've never met any of you that are watching. I mean, maybe you're one or two of the friends that I'm referring to in this giant friend group of like people I know, but like you, the viewer, effectively are an entity, a blob that like I don't interact with. And basically me making the videos is like, it's like, yeah, it's kind of all I have. It's the only time I get to talk about what I want to talk about. And the only time I get to be myself in a true sense, where I'm not fucking, I'm not trying to edit some fucking cool, like, clickbaity video about some dumb shit that I don't care about. Like, I'm just, if I cry, I cry. If I get angry, I get angry. If I get sad, I get sad. If I'm happy, I'm happy. That's just how my videos have been. That's how they will continue being, and that's it. And I'm not going to apologize for it. If I see something that I feel is like off or wrong or whatever when it comes to like dealing with someone, I'll just say it. And it's like people might think that it's like, oh well, now you're being super negative. It's like, no, I'm just pointing something out. It's like, it's at the same level of if you eat a really tasty meal at a restaurant that you really like, and one piece of the meal maybe like, let's say that they overcooked the broccoli, and so you just didn't like the broccoli. You say, wow, that was such a good meal. It's just too bad about the broccoli. The broccoli was overcooked. And so you might mention, the overcooked broccoli and all of this stuff. And the friends might be like, oh my gosh, you didn't like the meal? It was so good. It's like, no, I did like the meal. I liked it a lot. It was one of my favorite meals. It's just that they didn't cook the broccoli very well. And they're like, yeah, but why are you talking about the broccoli like that? It's like, bro, that's not even the point. It's just pointing out that the broccoli wasn't very good, but I loved the rest of the meal. And so that's where um the whole friend thing about talking about, like, you know, pointing out certain things with certain friends. It's like, yeah, I'm going to point out that the broccoli was not cooked right. But that doesn't mean that I didn't like the other 95% of the meal, right? Um so yeah, doesn't mean that I don't love the place that I was at, or in this case, doesn't mean I don't love the person, doesn't mean I don't care about them, doesn't mean I don't want them to, like, succeed or any of that stuff. It just means that, like, I can see what they need to work on. That's it. I did not expect this long video in the middle of the fucking night that turned into, it's like, what, 5:30 or something? 6? It's 6:13. I definitely want to go back to sleep because I'm still tired, but I'm kind of awake now, so I'm like, fuck, what have I done? I don't know how. And I guess getting back to the letting go, it's like, I think I really have to, like, understand and realize what I'm actually letting go. And at its core, I'm letting go of connections that don't really fulfill me. Doesn't mean that they're not good people. Doesn't mean that I don't want to talk to them. Of course I do. I love and enjoy talking with them. I also love them as people. I don't, they don't have to change. They don't have to do anything different. It's just I understand what we'll talk about and the kind of the level of, like, conversation we're going to have. And that's it. Um and it's also just hard to really realize how unsatisfying the connections are in terms of, like, the deep conversations I want to have. And it's not even just the deep conversations, because I've had deep conversations with people. It's the not understanding that really, like, gets me. It's like, I'm not even, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to explain it. It's just, yeah. It's just the lack of deep conversation. The lack of, the lack of the understanding of the deep conversation. And it's almost like an aversion to it. Where it's like they're not really interested in those conversations, but they're humoring me by having them. And I can tell they're humoring me. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to humor me. I want you to actually want to talk about it. Otherwise, we shouldn't talk about it. It just feels like a spiritual drought where even the people I thought were like really spiritual aren't really like at the same point. I mean, the closest person I think at this point, after I've kind of thought about all the connections I have with people who are like spiritual in some way, is like there's the one person um, that I went to the like 2 hour yoga thing in New York. They seem pretty connected, but I can't even tell like how far down the rabbit hole they've gone in terms of their understanding. Like I feel they're there, but I don't know. There's something a little bit different. And then there's the Reiki master. And I guess the Buddhist person that I was talking to, I enjoyed talking with them. But if you think about it, it's like, where are all the friends that you were like where are the people that you like interact with? It's like they're nowhere to be seen. They're not spiritually on that path. Oh, and there was actually a friend who, or sorry, I guess I could consider him a friend. But he works with one of my roommates, and even though it's so funny, even though he's not spiritual at all, I had a better conversation with him than I've had with pretty much anyone else, aside from the Reiki master and the Buddhist monk. Those two people I had good connections with as well. Um, and it's like what the fuck? Like, and I distinctly remember my one roommate doing the oh my god, here we go. They're gonna be talking about some dumb shit that I don't want to hear, and literally walked out of the room when we were having this conversation. Uh, it's like again, that's like another like point on the docket of like, yeah, of course. If I want to have those conversations and my roommates don't want to like have them, like, yeah, I'm just gonna constantly be like pushing them out of the room by having the conversation, right? So you also can. I think you guys can also see why it is that I need so much space from the roommates, because there's a lot of like um there's a lot of energy there um around like everything. So And I've decoupled from that whole situation at this point. Um, so like, mentioning it doesn't like alter my like stuff at all. But yeah. Um, Getting back to what I was saying though, it's like okay, so effectively a Reiki master, a Buddhist monk, and then um oh, what's his name? Or the coworker of the roommate. And then yeah, those are really the three. And it's like that's why I feel like there's a spiritual drought around me, because all the people that I've actually connected with on a deep level aren't even like close to me, friend wise or whatever. It's like, fuck. And I know there are more people out there like me. I see the videos. Um yeah, I don't know. And so I think that's like part of why I'm being pushed to let go of everything, because I've already proven that none of it fulfills me. I just had a thought for a second that I wanted to point out. I hate the fact that I have to qualify every statement that I make about like an example. Me saying none of my friendships fulfill me. If I don't put a qualifying statement there, inevitably, if any one of the friends watch this video, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this whole time he hasn't felt like he cared about us, or blah, 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 whatever. Or, maybe they'll be like upset or frustrated or angry or whatever. It's like, this is why I qualify things, where it's like, okay, obviously I care about the person. I'm not talking about like their character or their moral compass or their whatever. I'm just talking about my spiritual journey and how I don't fit with like their perspective, and so it's unfulfilling for me to live in a situation where all the friends surrounding me are like spiritually not at the same like wavelength as me. And so it sucks that I can't talk about all the spiritual stuff, blah blah blah, whatever, right? What I've just been talking about. But instead, it's like if I don't qualify it, then it's like, oh, they're like fucking hurt. And I'm just sick of doing this. It's like, yeah, this is why I have to like find people who are at that same like wavelength, so I don't have to qualify things, because it's fucking tiring. It's so tiring to like have the kid gloves on to make sure that everyone's feelings aren't hurt by something I say, just because, like, it's like most people can't understand that you can have feelings of unfulfilled, like, you have unfulfilled desires, but still care and love a person, or still enjoy their conversations, or still enjoy hanging out, or still enjoy, you know, just whatever it is that you do with them, right? And so it's like, I just have kid gloves on with fucking everyone I interact with. It's just so annoying because it's like, I don't, like, I care about them so much that I don't want to hurt their feelings. And so I have to overqualify everything. Because if I don't, I know I'm going to hurt their feelings with the things that I say. And it's like not even my intention to do it. It's just like you just don't see where I'm coming from. So of course you're going to feel like I'm attacking you specifically or something, whatever, right? I just remembered like a perfect example of this. So my friend, on the first night when we went to the play, uh, I was telling them about how, like, oh yeah, like, my buddy called, and I'm like, and I knew that, like, he was calling because he was bored, not because he actually, like, wanted to interact with me. And he was just, like, nosy. So I was like, so, like, I feel really proud of myself that, like, I didn't answer and I didn't, like, respond, because in the past I would have. And they were like, what? You're not gonna, like, they care about you. They want to, like, check in and see if you're okay. Like, I don't understand. It's like, no, that's not. And then I had to, like, explain, and it didn't really even come through the whole way because it's like there's so much history there. And so it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, this person has done this in the past where they'll call me when they're really bored or not busy, and they're really nosy and want to know, like, what's going on. And it's like it doesn't even come across because it's like the whole roommate saga. It makes them sound like, if I was to say, hey, this person's manipulative, it makes them sound awful. And it's like, they're not actually awful. This is just like, you know, part of who they are at the moment is they haven't healed some emotional trauma internally. And because of that, they do this thing because they have this abandonment, like, issue where they, like, need to control every aspect of something in order to feel safe because they don't want to get abandoned again. And it's like, it's a whole thing, right? So it's like, I understand that they're doing it, even though it is something that I would consider a negative. They're doing it from a place where they actually do care, and it's their way to kind of cope with the fact that I'm effectively leaving. And it's like thinking about the times when the person was like, oh, well, are you leaving because just say that we're evil and we're awful and blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, no, I don't think that. Just because I disagree with your outlook on life, and, like, I don't vibe, doesn't mean that I don't love you guys. Like it's like we can interact and care about each other, but also like not want to live with each other. Like, and so it's stuff like this all the time where it gets so exhausting to have to explain all the intricate stuff so that I don't paint someone as an asshole, because I don't think my roommates are assholes. I think there's a lot of coping mechanisms that they use, and I think a lot of it is subconscious. I don't think even most of it is conscious, the way they interact and the way they do things. And there's like an energy dynamic, and it's a whole thing. And so, just saying, hey, I didn't, like, okay, saying I didn't interact with, like, I didn't answer the call when my roommate called me. Well, either I'm going to look like an asshole or they're going to look like an asshole if I don't explain things. If I say, oh, yeah, they're just being manipulative. It's like, well, I can't just stop at that, right? Because if I do that, then I'm just dismissing them as, yeah, they're being manipulative, even though I know what I'm talking about. Where it's like, it's manipulative in so much as they care about me and they want me in their life and they don't want me to leave. And so they're having this abandonment issue get triggered because I'm gone and they're not hearing from me. And so they want to be nosy and know what I'm doing, because then that exerts control on the situation from their perspective, so that then they can feel better about the fact that even though I'm not there, at least they're in control through the phone call where they're finding out what I'm doing and they're learning all the details about what I'm doing, right? So all of that I just explained is not a bad thing. It's a coping mechanism for the fact that their abandonment issues are getting triggered and they don't know what to do other than to use the coping mechanism. Is there anything wrong with that? No. It just means that they have something they need to heal. And so it's like, I'm not mad at them for doing it. I don't dislike them. I love them. And I can see what they're dealing with and what they're struggling with. It's the same principle with, like, you don't get upset at a lion for eating another animal. And I'm not saying my roommate's an animal. What I'm saying is it's a similar principle. When you recognize where everything comes from on whatever situation it is, and you humanize the person, whoever it is, you can't be mad at them. It's only when we dehumanize and detach that we start getting mad and pointing fingers and saying they're the other. They're the, oh yeah, they're the asshole, they're the this, they're the that, right? But I don't see it that way. And so that's why a lot of the overqualifying, it's like, even this, it's like, yeah, I'm overqualifying and explaining because it's like, I don't want people to think that my roommates are assholes, because they truly aren't assholes. They're really nice people. Like, I really do love them, and they have a lot of great qualities. I'm not talking about those great qualities right now, because that's not what this segment is about. I could make a whole ass video on, like, all the cool things that I like about each of my roommates. I could do all the cool things about my friends. That's like, but like, that isn't the point of like why I'm bringing them up in the first place. I'm bringing them up because I know that we don't fit. And the reason we don't fit is because of X, Y, and Z. You know, the things I've explained. But I don't want people to think they're assholes. So it's like I gotta do a 2-hour video because I don't want them to be perceived as an asshole. And it's fucking exhausting. And it's like, so this is, you know, looping back, it's like me letting go of all of this, of all the friendships. And again, I'm not actually letting them go in the truest sense. We'll still be friends, but I'm letting go of the idea that I have to overqualify myself, or that I have to explain for 10 hours why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm letting them be where they're at, and I'm living my life not worrying about their problems. Because I used to worry about all of my friends' problems and trying to figure out ways to help them. But I'm not doing that anymore. Instead, I'm going to be living through example, and I'm going to be taking all of the energy that I used to pour into other people and their problems and their situations, and I'm going to pour it into both myself and the embodiment that I'm trying to show through example. And as I do that, people, like-minded people who also have done that in their life, will show up. And that is something that I'm looking forward to. Because it's going to feel really good to not have to qualify because we're all on the same page. You know, they'll be able to see me in a way that other people just don't see me, because they've gone through a similar situation. It's similar to the idea that only alcoholics truly know what an alcoholic is going through. Only drug addicts know what a drug addict is going through. And it's nothing against other people who haven't experienced that. That's just part of how it is. And so so it's the same thing when it comes to spirituality and like the spiritual journey. Only people who are on a spiritual journey and have gone through all of the letting go and the, like, you know, realizing that they're not in a situation that like works, and, you know, the trust in the universe and all of this stuff. Only people who have also done that will understand the struggle of doing the exact thing that I'm explaining. But I'm documenting it all regardless. And again, this is part of like this is part of the documentation of like the thought process, the feelings, all of that stuff. Because I figure even if it doesn't make sense at the time, someone will get something out of this. I think lots of people will get stuff out of this whole journey. And I'm glad. I'm glad that people are going to watch this and something will resonate with them. All right, we're past 2 hours, so I'm gonna fucking do something. Try to go to sleep, or I don't fucking know what I'm gonna do. But this is technically getting tacked on to the yesterday's stuff. So, okay, have a good night or good morning. I don't fucking know. All right, bye.